Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I think it was last week or earlier this week I asked a question on my Facebook page and Instagram page where I asked people if they were ever told I love you or you're beautiful or you're handsome by their parents growing up, and a majority of the responses were that they did not. So in today's video, I want to talk a bit about how certain things that our parents did or didn't do as children and how it affected us growing up. Firstly, as usual, please excuse the noise. I do live very close to the main road. I have my glass with me today. It's not wine because, as you guys, well, maybe you don't know, but I don't drink alcohol. So this is just the original cranberry juice. So yeah. So let's get into it. I'm going to share 5 things that our parents did do growing up. For me, I'd say number 1 is showing affection. And when I say showing affection, what I really mean is that we weren't surrounded by parents who would tell us, I love you, I'm proud of you, you're beautiful, you're attractive, you're handsome, you're smart, stuff like that. Things that we needed to hear as children to ensure that we grew up in a way where we don't feel dependent on others for that validation. Growing up where you're already struggling with being judged by the world so much and then not being given that assurance at home, it really sends a child out into the world to get it from anyone. So sometimes the first man who tells a girl that she's beautiful, she feels as if she owes him the world because no one has ever told her that before. The first woman who lets a young man know that he's attractive or he's smart, she's proud of him, that allows him to feel as if, yes, this woman is my everything, I should make her my everything, and anything she says or asks of me, I'll do because she has given me this reassurance. Now, I'm not here to blame our parents per se, because this is something that perhaps has been passed on. They didn't receive it when they were children, so they took that same type of parenting into how they modeled how they went about being parents. So for my generation now and those to come, it's for us to break that cycle, to ensure that we tell our children that we love them, we're proud of them, they're beautiful. These are things that children need to hear, and oftentimes parents will neglect these things because they believe that their responsibilities are mainly around providing food, clothing, and shelter. We tend, especially here in Jamaica, we tend to brush aside the emotional support. So a lot of us as children, we grow up basically our parents not knowing who we are. Like, we all live in the same homes, we spend a lot of time together, but we don't actually know who our children are because we don't ask questions. We just provide them with the essentials that we deem as essential, and we just send them out into the world to basically fend for themselves. Yes, we provide them with the basics. They know how to make money, they know how to fix a car, they know how to cook, they know how to do this, but they don't know how to properly interact with people because they didn't receive that at home. And that has a lot to do with how a lot of us go into relationships and how we are in relationships. A lot of us struggle with being affectionate. We struggle with expressing our emotions, especially as men, and that really results in relationships that are so cold and relationships that can't go for long periods of time because we don't know how to do it. We weren't given the basics in how we should take care of each other, how we should show our love and support for our partners. That's a heavy one right there. Support your goals, especially when we don't follow the path that they have prepared for us. growing up, a lot of us were surrounded by parents who would be like, you need to become a lawyer, you need to become a doctor, you need to become a teacher, you need to become this, or you need to become that. Say for instance, your parents are teachers, your parents are lawyers, you're kind of expected to follow that path. And when you decide that you don't want to follow that path, a lot of time parents, they feel as if you're being rebellious, you're unappreciative because you've decided to choose a path that literally is better for your mental health. It's better aligned with your passions, and truly, if you don't follow that path, you won't feel fulfilled. You won't feel as if you're happy with the life that you're living. And sometimes a lot of us, we throw it on the back burner because we want to please our parents, but we really can't do that. We really have to go with what is best for us. And parents need to realize that, so they don't force their children to settle into a life that really is not for them, and a life that will literally send them on a downward spiral mentally. Listen more. This one, Jamaican parents listen, like seriously. They'll hear us talking, we'll share opinions, we'll express how we feel about certain things, but do they really listen to us? Parents, you need to listen to your children. A lot of times children express themselves, they tell you what it is they like and what they don't like, and you don't listen because you're so stuck in your way of thinking that how can a child tell you anything? How can a child have opinions that can be better than yours, or make sense more than yours, when you are the adult, you are the parent? And sometimes a lot of children would grow into becoming adults that are much more at peace, much more productive, if they had parents who listen to them. A lot of times children cry out. The signs are there, the signs that they want to feel loved, they want to feel appreciated, they just want some support. And instead of listening, you just blow them up because they're children, and who really cares what a child has to say about anything? That's so detrimental. So I'm asking parents to please listen to your children. A lot of the times they're telling you how they feel, they're asking for help, and you just ignore them. You don't see their opinions or their feelings as important. The whole word feelings is something that I often see is just shoved under the welcoming mats at the doors of homes here, where parents just be like, they don't know what to do with it, so they just brush it aside. It's not important until the child starts to go on a downward spiral, and what happened? I said they go church, I said they go school, why are you like this? The child was telling you why they are like this, but you ignored them. Stop comparing us to our friends. Parents have a habit where they love to say, why don't you stay like so and so? Why aren't you smart as so and so? Why you don't dress like so and so? Why you don't talk like so and so? Can you stop it, please? The world is already judging us for so many things. We don't want to be in a home where our parents are constantly comparing us to our friends or the neighbor. We are our own person. Please appreciate what makes your child, and stop comparing them to someone else. Nobody wants to constantly be hearing, I wish it did stay like Amy. I wish it did stay like Bob. You know, nobody wants to constantly be hearing those things. Please stop it, please. You might admire the child next door. Nothing is wrong with admiration. But don't constantly be pushing this in your child's face that you want them to be more like that person. Your child is your child. Embrace them for who they are. Encourage them to work on areas that they can improve on, but never ever compare them to another child. Don't do that. You might think it, if you think it, keep it to yourself. Don't tell a child, please. And finally, stop reporting to friends and family. As soon as your child does something, you take up the phone and you call your sister, you call your brother, you call your church sister. Talk to your child. Work it out in home. Not everybody needs to know everything about what is happening in your home. You don't even understand what it is that you're inviting into your home when you do that. You might think that those persons have the best intentions. Not everybody has the best intentions, you know. And then when that person sees your child now, they have this look of judgment. They like, your mother tell me say you do this, your mother tell me say you thief this, your mother tell me say you come home this time, your mother tell me say you sleep out with your boyfriend. Please stop it. Your home is your home. Work it out in home, fix it in home. Nothing is wrong with getting advice here or there, but don't take up the phone as soon as your child does something that you deem as being disrespectful or rude or out of line. Please, your child doesn't need that. So yeah, I think those are the main tips. Just to share some general thoughts. A lot of us needed to hear I love you. I needed to hear I love you. I didn't hear I love you until I was fully grown. I did feel it because I knew that my parents did love me. But when you're feeling as if you're already inadequate in overall in the world, just to hear that from family, from your parents, you know, it will help a lot. You're beautiful, you're attractive. Those words were words that I first heard outside of the home. Then again, I've never heard those words from my parents. I've never heard you're beautiful, you're attractive, none of those. My ears are a big though. I know it is, but yeah. So please, parents, those who are parents now and those who will become parents, please ensure that you do these things. Make a child feel good about themselves. A child who feels good about themselves can conquer just about anything in life. They're already one step ahead of everyone else. They're confident, they're proud, they're bold, they're ambitious. And always remember to correct with love. Make a child feel special so that they don't gravitate to just about any and anyone else. Them big man there take advantage of them simply because them give them some attention. They make them feel special. You're pretty, baby, you look nice, your shape nice, you know. Sometimes it's those things that make children grow, turn into adults, take on adult decisions before it's time, simply because they got some attention. Give your child attention, give your child affection, so they don't need to get that from anyone else. A lot of young men taken advantage of by older women when they were younger because those women made them feel good about themselves, made them feel powerful, you know, loved, handsome, when nobody else was making them feel that way. And those women in turn took advantage of them, took their virginity at age 8, 9, 10. If you talk to a lot of men, those are some of the ages where they lost their virginity simply because they received that type of comfort that they needed at home. So I don't want to make this too long. I just want to encourage parents to let's listen to some of these points that I made. I mean, for some it's perhaps too late because you've already raised your children, but even though your child still needs to hear that that's how you feel about them. So yeah, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.